Hello everybody and welcome to Will of Monsters. I'm Monster Master Arthur and this is one of my speed sketch day. I call it speed sketch of the week or monster sketches of the week. Yeah, that's more correct. So today we're going to be working on Horta from Star Trek, and I never even heard of this thing until Idic Beer, or Nick from Idic Beer, that channel, go check it out. He mentioned this creature as a request for the next speed painting of a monster. So I looked into it and you know what a great idea. So let's get started with that right now, and here we go. So I'm using an image of that of the Horta from an episode of Star Trek. Mainly I'm just using the image for color referencing. That's right. I find that using an image like this, like a high contrasted, a high saturated image like this, is a great way to just quickly pick up colors. It really saves time. You see a bit of the form, by the way, so that's helpful, but it's great to work off reference, and yeah, here I just use it mainly for colors. So when he brought up that idea, I was like, wow, that's gonna be weird. I was more, forgot about the camera. I was talking to the screen. I was more focused on, I was thinking more or less about creatures like bipedal type creatures and, creatures with limbs. But then he brought this up and I'm like, wow, what a cool idea and a different and outside of the box. And you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of a great artist practice exercise to do, and it's drawing a still life. And basically it's drawing a still life of a crumpled paper. So crumple up a piece of paper like you're gonna throw it in the trash can, put it on the table, put some lights on it, and draw it. You're gonna find so many nooks and crannies and darks and lights and high contrast, and it's just such a meditative piece. And that's what I found this Horta to be like. It's like this meditative, monstrous artwork. So I'm using hard brushes, and here you just saw me use a blender brush. It's called the which one? I'm not in Photoshop right now, but it's called the blending brush, something like that. It's not the smudge, it's the brush. It's under the brush options, and it's really helpful. So once you have the main colors and things down, you just use that to kind of blend them together. Let's see, basically, so I started out with using brushes that were about 75% opacity, hard edge brushes, and after I get the main colors down and shapes and forms, then I go on to using about 50% opacity. That's right, and now you start getting more of that painter kind of and blended look. It doesn't look all like you're drawing it all with a marker. So here we go, continuing. As you noticed, this is about 30 minutes into the artwork here. So I'm focused. My focal point is at the top 60 or 70% of the creature, and in the bottom parts you'll see I kind of just quickly put together to make it make sense and form, make sense and have form. So that's it. Let's see. Anyhow, remember it's a sketch, so it's just about getting the main shapes and forms. So so here I drew in the crumpled parts, the shadows and stuff like that, but I drew them a little bit hard, too hard of a brush. I should have lowered the opacity or used a lighter color, but that's okay. If you do something like that, make sure you fill out each one of those little sections. So you see a line like this go, a jagged line, make sure you fill out each part of that line, with a color, with a brown or a certain rock color. So then it gives it a form and a shape, so it's not just a squiggly line. That's a quick way to make it look decent, and taking away what you ruined with how you ruined the piece with making that strong line. So just fill up the top parts of those shaded areas with some color, and it's all good. So yeah, there we go. Just pull in the colors. Photographs have so many colors within them. Well, it depends on the photograph, but yeah, there's going to be tons of colors that often you're not going to think of. I mean, as a good artist, you want to have a good understanding of color theory and in fine arts with color. But working on a sketch, I mean, in the end, I don't want to really say this too strongly, but it's all about the final piece. With artwork, especially if you're doing it for money, it's all about the final piece. Nobody sees your process and things like that. So, you know, I mean, it's all about the progress for yourself as an artist to develop, but for the customer or for people looking at it, it's all about the final product. And that's what a sketch is really all about. It's all about the final product for people to see. That's why you're creating a sketch, you know, to create a quick concept for somebody to see or yourself. But also, of course, you're going to learn along the way. So I can't completely say it's all about the final product. But I'm just trying to say that here to point out that it's okay to use shortcuts and things like that to get to quicker, to what you would get to naturally, maybe, but through a, not naturally, but skillfully through a longer path. So here we go. I would say the Horta has a little bit more of a flatter bottom area. It's more kind of squished and spread out. But yeah, that's the basic thing. I mean, if it's all crumpled up together, it would kind of look like this. I don't know exactly what it is. I think it's lava and rock type of stuff, creature. It's yeah, it's a weird creature, and it was a pleasure doing it. Thanks once again for I Dig Beer for the request. Thank you guys for watching. If you want to see more such sketches, make sure you subscribe to the channel, you stick around, leave a thumbs up, and let me know what creature you would like me to sketch out next, or if you would just like me to continue with the Horta. Until next time, this has been Monster Master Arthur.